Hello and what's up to you all beautiful and awesome mindsetters. I hope you're enjoying your day. This is the best show that you don't want to miss. It is our winter school revision right here on your favorite channel where we learn more and learn extra. My name is Abram and I'm joined by Sikhe today. Sikhe, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm all good, sir. Can't complain. It's winter school. Though some people are feeling cold, then you know the mindsetters are on holiday. But learning continues, right?
Yeah, learning continues.
So there's just no holiday.
No holiday.
Right, what are we doing today?
We're doing revision, paper 2, the trigonometry and your analytical geometry.
Nice one. Well, mindsetters, to take part in this lesson, all you need to do is jump over Facebook, facebook.com/learnextra. That is our link. And also on Twitter, follow us at learnextra. We've got exciting news for you guys. One, there is a winter school competition that we're running. All you need to do is to jump on Facebook, check out the instructions on how to enter. We're giving away an awesome Intel tablet. It is about the Soccer World Cup. So since we all know we've got 4 teams that are playing every evening, like tonight we've got Colombia, Costa Rica, Netherlands, and Brazil. So you got to choose your own team on Curio. After choosing that team, you jump to Facebook and like your team that you support. The team that gets the most likes on Facebook, if it's your team that you voted for, your name gets to a draw. And then later on at 3:30, when the draw closes, when the competition closes, your name could be on the draw and you could be the winner to the grand draw, which will be drawn on Friday. So we've got 4 teams here. What's your team?
Brazil, Bob.
You go for Brazil?
Brazil.
I'll go for Netherlands.
No, it's fine, but Brazil, you see B and then N is down there, so Brazil.
All right, well, we'll see, my sisters. We'll keep you guys updated. Remember, when you go to Curio, your code is LEARN. But for now, your links are on Facebook, so let's learn.
Let's learn, guys. As I've said earlier, we're doing revision for your analytical geometry and also trigonometry today. I hope you all can see what I've got on the board here. Sorry. The first question, and it's adapted from your exemplar paper 2014, which is your CAPS. And if we look at the first question, it says in the diagram below, M, T minus 1, 5, and XY and P7, 3 are vertices of a trapezium. MT and P having Tn parallel to, so you've got Tn is parallel to your MP and Q11 is the midpoint of MP. So it's a midpoint of M. Okay, we don't know what the coordinates here, so I can just put X and Y. So this is the midpoint of the whole MP. Right, and PK is a vertical line. Okay, let's look for PK. Okay, yes, PK is a vertical line with, and the angle KPS is theta. We can see the angle theta there. And then the equation of NP is y equals to minus 2x plus 17. So this is your NP. Sorry, y is minus 2x plus 17. Okay, now let's start working, guys. The first question is, we need to write down, sorry, the coordinates of K. Now, first of all, we need to look where K is. And in our diagram, K is here, okay? This is your K, right? Now, we need to find out what are the coordinates there. What we know is that K is on the x-axis, okay? So where y is 0. But we are also told that PK is a vertical line. So the x value is constant throughout. So K at 7 and 0. So we have answered that question. So the coordinates of K, it's 7 and 0. All right? Now, we move on to the next question. We need to find the coordinates of M. Now, again, we go back. M, where is M? You can see that M lies on MQP, all right? And there's a first thing that they told us. They said Q is the midpoint of MP, all right? So now, if Q is the midpoint of MP, we need to be reminded of the formula to find the midpoint. And remember, the formula for the midpoint is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 is 2y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay? But now, in this case, they've given us the midpoint. Okay? So what's our x1? So this is your x, the unknown, plus the other x, which is at n, no, it's at p, that is 7, all divided by 2. It's equals to the midpoint, which is given, that it is 1. Okay? And then on the y part, we have y and 3. So it's going to be y plus 3, all divided by 2, equals to 1. Sorry. Now, we have x plus 7 is 2, then x is negative 5. Or y is 2 minus 3, and then y is negative 1. Okay. Now, let's just check. So the coordinates of m is minus 5 and minus 1. So you write it in a coordinate form. So your m, it's minus 5 and then minus 1. Okay. So now, remember, your midpoint, you say x1 plus x2 divided by 2 is to y1 plus y2 divided by 2. But in this case, they've given us the midpoint, so we needed to work out what x and the y that makes the midpoint is. Okay. Now, so guys, the next question, we need to find the gradient of PM. Right. Now, to find the gradient, to work out that slope is a change in y over change in x. So your formula is, okay, so we'll say the gradient of PM is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now, guys, we need to go and check the coordinates, okay? We have PM. Now, in our diagram, P, we've got 7, 3. And then we also have the M, or we can just use this point because it lies on the same line. Now remember, if they lie on the same line, they have the same gradient, and we call them, they are collinear. So what we can do here is to say 3 minus 1 divided by 7 minus 1. So we have 3 minus 1 over 7 minus 1, and it gives us 2 divided by 6, and that simplifies to a third. So the gradient of PM is a third. Okay. Now, that is fine. Now we move on to the next question. Very important. We need to find the size of theta. Okay. Now, to work out the size of theta, can you see that there's theta is here? We've got a 90. We've got a 90 degrees here, okay? All right? Now, if we are able to work out this, okay, by getting the inclination, remember, we can work out the angles on a straight line, find this angle, and then add all these angles in a triangle, and that will give us our theta. Now, let's work it out quickly. We've got the gradient of that line, which is MP. So the gradient is a third. It's our gradient, okay? Now, we know that m equals to tan of theta. The gradient is a third equals to tan theta. Then we work out theta. Now, remember, you say shift tan of a third. So now I'll just go to my calculator here and then say shift tan giving us some problems here. Okay, let's just fix it. Let's see. Okay, shift tan. The calculator is giving me some problems. Abram, are they having anything? Any questions? Are they logged in?
They're logged in, but there are no comments. I think we should take a break though while you're trying to fix that.
Okay.
Right,
no
mine
problem.
says as we take this break, here's an awesome quote from Facebook. Sinenta Ntachauke says, mine says, here's my inspirational quote to share with you. Great is he that dreams, but greater is he that works hard to achieve his dreams. Always dream, but work hard to achieve your dreams. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, awesome mindsetters. Now looking back on Facebook, because we love chatting to you guys, and I urge you, if you have some questions, we're here to help you. There's some mindsetters on the page, such as Sbusiso Gabriel, who sent us a question, and Api was saying, hi guys, enjoying the show, and all other mindsetters like Kira Ratau watching the show. Thank you guys, and we love to engage with you guys. So remember, we're here to assist you. But remember, there's an awesome competition which we are running. It is called our Winter School World Cup competition. We've got 4 teams that are playing in this evening. So all you need to do is to like your favorite team, vote for it, and share with all your friends the picture that has your team on it on Facebook, because we are here to support you, and we'd like you guys to win that awesome Intel tablet to assist you academically. Sihle? Ngiyalunga baba.
Ayalung. Assist academically. You're
Yes.
saying it totally. Okay, guys. We needed to work out your theta there from your angle of inclination, and then I said it's shift tan of your gradient, which is a third, and we're getting 18.4. Okay, so this is 18.43. Okay, so we have that 18.43. We can now work out this angle, all right, and by saying 180 degrees minus 18.43 minus 180 degrees, we get 161.57. 161.57. Now, so we have that angle here. Now we needed to work out that one, right? So if we have this angle, then we add it to the 90. So what we can do is to say 180 minus, that is, sorry, 180 degrees minus 90 minus 18.47, and that is 71.53. So that theta, the theta that they were looking for, so our angle theta here is given by 71 point, so we've got 71.53. I hope you all got that one. So our theta, the one that we're looking for, is 71.43. So that is our angle there. All right. So now, guys, moving on, all right, we can see that you guys are working hard, and remember your analytical geometry is the easiest section on your paper 2. So now we move on to 1.5. They're asking, okay, hence or otherwise, find the length of PS. Now we go and look for PS. There is P, we can find P, all right? There is S. So we're looking for the whole distance there. This whole distance, okay? Now, how can I find that? I know that theta there at the top is roughly 71.43, and it is wise to draw a diagram. So you have that 71.43, and then in 90, you've got your PS. So there's S, there's P. Now, very important, guys. If you look at this triangle, can you tell me the length of PK? What's P? Thank you very much. PK is 3 units because I'm from here to there. The y coordinate is 3. So this is 3 units. So I have PK as 3 units. So I've got 3 there. I need to work out this side. Now, if I turn my right angle triangle around, I will be having this as my adjacent, and then this is your hypotenuse. And the trig ratio that you use to with your adjacent and your hypotenuse is cos. Or anyone can use sine provided they have that angle. All right. So now what we can say here is cos of 71.43 degrees. Just confirm that. It's actually 5.3. Okay. So this is 5.3. It's equals to, now your adjacent is 3, divide by your hypotenuse, which is PS. And then I want to make PS the subject, so I've got PS equals to 3 divided by cos of 71.53 degrees. And now the only remaining part is to just punch this in your calculator. Okay, so you've got 3 divided by cos of 71.53, close bracket, and then we get that. So it's roughly 9.47. So your PS is 9.47. So it's 9.47. Do they give us units? No. So this will be, PS will be roughly 9.47 units. Okay. Right. Now, guys, moving on to the next one. I hope that helped. Okay, moving on to the 1.7. They're saying A, coordinate A5 lies in the Cartesian plane. All right? So now it is somewhere in the Cartesian plane. All right? So it can be there, but as long as it's on that line of y equals to 5. Now let's look at the question. Write down the equation of a straight line representing the possible positions of A. Now, what we know is that y is 5. Okay, so y is 5. So we can have our A here, or there, or there, or there, but it will lie on that line because we are guided by the 5, which is the y. We don't know what x is. It can be on our first quadrant or in our second quadrant. Okay, so now to answer that question, write down the equation of a straight line representing the possible positions of A. So y equals to 5 is the line where we can have that A. Okay. Now 1.7.2, hence or otherwise calculate the value of values of A for which QAT is 4.5, right? Now, let's look at Q. There is Q here. And then if we're saying our A is there, okay? If A is there, right, X and 5, okay? Then we'll have that QAT. So we've got QAT, this will be 45 degrees. Okay? Now, I hope you're going to see what I'm going to be doing now. All right? If we have that straight line, y equals to 5, it's constant throughout. So you've got y equals to 5, and this line is going to be parallel to your x-axis. If that is 45 degrees, what's the magnitude of this angle? It is also 45 degrees. And why are we saying it's 45 degrees? Because you've got those two lines parallel, and this forms a Z, right? So those angles, they alternate. Okay, so if that is 45, then that gives us the inclination, the angle of inclination there. And we know that m equals to tan theta, right? If theta is 45, then we get tan 45, and this gives us 1. So the gradient will be 1 for that particular line. Okay? Now let us assume that our A is on this side, because we don't know where A is, but it lies on that line y equals to 5. So if A is here, then I'll have the T here, and then the Q there, all right? Okay, then that will be your 45. The 45 is going to be here, so that other angle will be 135, angles on a straight line, okay? So now, if we have the theta there as our inclination on that other side, if theta is 135, then what's our gradient? M equals to tan of 135, then we get tan of, now remember, to reduce that, you've got 180 minus 45, okay? 180 degrees minus 45, we get negative tan 45, all right? So now, this will give us minus 1. So the gradient, so the possible gradients there, it will be minus 1 and also a 1. Now, let's get back to business. We need to work out the coordinates of A, all right? Calculate the value or values of A. So we need to find the values of A there. We have this, x and 5. We have 1 and 1, and we know that the gradient is 1. We can work out the gradient there. So the gradient is change in y over change in x. So we've got 5 minus 1 over x minus 1, which I'm taking from that, right, equals to our gradient, which is 1. And the other possibility is when we have the gradient equals to minus 1. So you've got 5 minus 1 divided by x minus 1 equals to negative 1. Okay? Now, the x there stands for a, so we can take out that x, okay, and bring back the a. Okay, so this is a, this is a. All right? Remember the gradient change in y over change in x. So you've got 4 divided by a minus 1 equals to 1. Then 4 is a minus 1. Then your a will be 5. Or you've got a 4 divided by a minus 1 equals to negative 1. Then 4 is negative a plus 1. Then negative a is 3. So therefore, a is negative 3. So we've got two possibilities of a there. So a can be negative 3 or a can be equals to 5. Now remember, we didn't know where a was, but what we knew is that a lies on the line y equals to 5. So if we've got that QAT, we'll have two straight lines. One will have negative 1 as the gradient, and the other one will have 1 as the gradient. And we work from the gradient formula. Okay? All right. Next. Still on the same question, but let's look at this question. Okay. Write down the equation. So we've done that. We've done this one. Okay. So it means that's the end of your question number 1. Anything from them, Abraham?
The questions that I think we should take them later on.
Okay.
And they should just keep them coming because we're going to take all the questions at the same time.
Okay. All right. And then they must not forget to vote for their teams.
I'll give you a score update.
Okay. All right. Guys, moving on to question 2. I think what I'm going to do here is to, if I'm right, Abraham, with your allowance,
Yes.
I'm going to give them this question, and then they do it at home. Then we go for a break, okay? Then after break, then we continue.
Cool.
Short. All right, so you've got question 2. It says in the diagram below, the equation of the circle having center M is x plus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals to 9. Now, R is a point on chord AB. So you've got a chord AB. So this is our chord AB, and R is somewhere on the chord, such that MR bisects, okay, so MR bisects the chord. So this, we have a 90 degrees there. And then ABT is a tangent to a circle with center N. So there's going to be a center N here, and then this NBT is a tangent at T. So in other words, we can have a circle, small and circle there, all right? So that this becomes a tangent. Okay, now, guys, what I'm going to ask you to do is to find the coordinates of M, all right? Okay? And the next one is to find the equation of AT in the form of y equals to mx plus c. Now, the AT is at the tangent. And then from there, we'll move on and work out the length of AB. I think we can go for break, and then after that, we'll continue with this.
Right,
question.
let me give you the score updates, Mindsetters. Remember, you can jump now to Facebook and like your favorite team. But first, to be entered to the draw, you must first start on Kiro, and your code is LEN. Netherlands is on 16 points, likes. Costa Rica,
Home ground
only
advantage.
4. Colombia, 6. And Brazil, I'll tell you after the break, 25. So guys, please, let's go for Netherlands. I know that CK is up for Brazil. Let's vote by liking and sharing the picture. And also tell your friends to join Mindset, because that's where we learn more and learn extra. See you after the break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. If you just joined us now, you're a bit late, but CK is taking it on gear number 1 today, so you can still catch up because we're here to assist you guys. Remember, Oprah Winfrey once said that for each and every one who succeeds, it's always because there's been someone to support them and show them the way. Hence, we're here to help you and show you the way. On our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/learnextra, we have about 81,205 likes. I'm sure we can do better, Mindsetters. Let's go. Team Mindset, let's work together. Invite all your friends and your classmates, your teachers, and everyone that you know to join us, and we work together during this winter. Sihle?
Sure. Hi, Sakubela, Nto.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Let's proceed. Okay, guys. Before the break, I asked you to work out the coordinates of M. Now, just before you give the coordinates of M, you need to go and check what is M on that diagram. All right. And now, if you go back reading there, in the diagram below, the equation of the circle having the center M. So, now we know that M is the center of a particular circle, all right? So now, and it's an off-centered circle, and the equation is x plus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals to 9. Now, remember the general form of a circle with center node at the origin is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to r squared. Okay? Now remember, your a and b are the coordinates of your center, all right? So in other words, if I had x minus 7 there, so the x value of the center will be your positive 7, okay? And if I've got the y plus 6, then the coordinate that b will be represented by the negative 6. And again here, I've got a 9, and r squared equals to 9, so the radius should be 3, all right? Now, so in other words, our coordinates of the center will be this, okay, and that. You just change the sign here, change the sign there. So you'll write it as m, it's minus 1 and minus 1, okay. Remember, if I had plus x plus 3, it will be minus 3, and then if I had y minus 4, then 4 there, okay. Right, so you've got the coordinates of m, it's minus 1, minus 1. Now, find the equation of AT. Now, guys, before you go on, you need to, before answering this question, you must go and check, okay, that AT, what is AT in this diagram? And we work from there, all right? So now we go to our diagram. Okay, I can see there is A here. It continues, it's in a line. There is a T, okay? So AT, now ABT is a tangent, okay? Now, remember, that is a tangent. It's a straight line, okay? It's a line that touches a curve only at one point. So now, if just having said that, that it is a line that touches a curve only at one point. Now, this is a line, it's a straight line. What's the equation for finding a straight line? The standard form is y equals to mx plus c. Okay? Now, you grown-ups now, grade 12. So y is y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. It's the way to find that equation of a straight line. Okay? So now, let's check what do we have. we know, earlier on I just drew this and said, we can have a circle there. And this line will be the tangent. And now remember, the tangent is going to be perpendicular to our radius. Okay. Now we can work out the gradient of the radius. Now remember in grade 10, you did lines, okay, with the straight lines. Parallel lines, we said, for parallel lines, the gradient of the first line should be the same as the gradient of the second line, okay? But the perpendicular lines, the gradient of the first line multiplied by the gradient of the second line gives us -1. Okay, so now let us work out the gradient of the radius. Let's look at the coordinates again. 3, 2, 4, 1. Okay, we've got 3, 2, and then 4, 1. And then this point is T, okay? And that T, it's on that line AT, right? Now let's work out the gradient. The gradient, okay, we'll just call it the gradient of the first line, or the gradient of the radius, okay? It will be change in y over change in x, so I will have the 2 minus 1 divided by 3 minus 4, which gives us 1 over minus, wait a second, let me just double check here. You have 2 and 1, 3 and 4. Okay, so it's going to be 2 minus 1 over 3 minus 1. So we get -1 as the gradient here. So you've got 2 minus 1 over 3 minus, that gives us a -1. So this, the gradient will be -1. Okay. Now, if the gradient of the radius is -1, what is the gradient of the tangent? So the gradient of the tangent will be, remember we said the gradient of the first line times the gradient of the second line equals to -1. So the other gradient should be 1. Now, so we have y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. And the point there on the tangent that we have is 4 and 1. Okay? So we've got 4 and 1. So it will be y minus 1 equals to 1 bracket x minus 4. So therefore, y is x minus 4 plus 1, which gives us y is x minus 3. So the equation of a tangent in this particular case is y equals to x minus 3. Okay? Right. Now, so moving on, the next question. They're saying, if it is further given that MR is the square root of 10 divided by 2 units, calculate the length of AB. Now we need to find where AB is again, okay? We have MR. There is MR. We are told it's root 10 divided by 2. Okay? And then we need to work out that distance. Okay? Now, very important. Guys, if you drawing these sketches, you never go wrong, right? If you go back to the statement here, all right, it says R is a point on a chord AB, all right, such that MR bisects AB. So in other words, I can draw a circle around here with that being a chord. So I have that circle. Oh, this circle looks like Abram's head. But guys, you can, I'm joking, Chief. But guys, you can see I was trying to draw a circle there. So to make my life easier. So this is a circle, not a proper one, and a chord AB. But now we know this. What's MB of that circle? MB is the radius. And remember, the radius of this circle, it is given. You've got the r squared equals to 9. So if the r squared is 9, then r is 3. And we have a right angle triangle there. Now it makes our lives much, much more easier because you've got a right angle triangle MRB. Okay? So we've got that MRB, we can work out RB using Pythagoras Theorem. And because we're told that MR bisects AB, so we know that the distance RB will be the same as the distance AR. Okay? Now let's work out what RB is. Okay? So you're going to say RB squared plus MR squared, it's equals to MB squared. And then we substitute. Okay? What do we have? Okay, RB we don't know, but MR. Okay, so RB is an unknown, plus MR is the square root of 10 divided by 2, but this is all squared, equals to MB is 3. Then, if that is 3 squared, so RB squared plus, this gives us, it's a square root of 10 all over 2, so it means that we have 10 divided by 4 equals to 9. Okay? So then RB squared will be your 9 minus, the 10 divided by 4 is the same as 5 divided by 2, simplifying that. And then, so we've got RB squared is 18 minus 5, that's 13 divided by 2. So therefore, RB is plus or minus the square root of 13 divided by 2. Okay? So it is plus or minus the square root of 13 divided by 2, but I'll ignore the negative because you can never have that the distance being negative. So we have RB, right? That this is the distance RB. Now we need this distance to add them together to get AB. But it's the same distance, so therefore we conclude by saying AB is 2 lots of your root 13 divided by 2, and that's units. Okay? Right? So we've worked that one out. Okay? Now, calculate the length of MN. Now, guys, as I've been saying, your coordinate geometry, it's easy. Draw pictures and see what that particular thing they're looking for is in that particular diagram. Okay. Now, we're looking for MN. We know the coordinates here. It was -1, -1. This one is a straightforward one because you've got your distance formula. You have that MN that you're looking for. I've got all the coordinates there. So it is easy to work it out. So you'll say MN will be the square root of x at m minus x at n, and that is squared, plus y at m minus y at n, but that is squared. Okay, right, so Mn equals to, now remember this, you have it on your formula sheet, right? So m, it's -1, -3. So we have -1, -3, we square the results, plus, again, it's -1, and then that other one will be a 2, okay? So -2, and then we square the results under the square root, and then we have a -1, -3, which gives us -4. Square that, you get 16, plus -1, -2, that's a 3, -3, times -3, you get a 9. So that's the square root of 25, which gives us 5. Now this is 5 units. Okay, so we've worked out the length of Mn, that it is 5 units. Now, as we continue, they are now telling us, I don't know who's telling us, I'm not going to use proper nouns anyway. Right, so now they are telling us that another circle having center N, okay, all right, touches the circle having center M, all right, at K. Find the equation of a new circle. Write your answer in the form x squared plus y squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals to 0. Right? Abram, I don't know if I should just go straight to this question, and maybe you've got something to say.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
I think we
We'll
should take a break.
I'm going to ask my lovely students to, because they're telling you that you've got another circle with the center N that touches. Now, we have circles like this. Okay. Can be a bigger one and a smaller one. This one has got an N, and then this one has got M as the center. But they touch. So in other words, they're touching outside. You need to work out the equation of that new circle in that form, x squared plus y squared plus cx plus dy plus e. I hope you're going to be sitting down and working that one now for me.
So true. In the meantime, you have Mindsetters what to do. You know, you must go to Q, your code as LAN. Choose your team out of the 4 teams that I gave you: Costa Rica, Colombia, Netherlands, and Brazil. After choosing your team, you go to Facebook, you like the picture with your team, share it with your friends, and let them like it too. And you could stand a chance of winning, going to a draw where you could win an Intel tablet. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. You're watching our winter school exam revision with Abram and Sihle. Remember, if you're struggling anywhere, we're here to assist you. I'm on facebook.com/LearnExtra. Also follow us on Twitter @LearnExtra. Remember the quote that says, learning is one treasure that will always follow you wherever you go. So with Mindset, we're always here to give you that treasure. Sihle, organjal.
Sure, fit.
Njalo.
Injalo.
Let's do this. Wow.
Let's do it. I hope you guys have worked on this one. Let me just reread the question. Another circle having center N. All right. Now we need to get what N is. Okay. We know that N, the coordinates of N is 3, 2. Okay. The touches with circle having center M. All right. The circle with center M. All right. Now, can you please watch what I'm doing here? These guys are touching there. Right? So they're touching outside. Okay? So we know the radius here, that it is 3 units. Okay? We don't know the radius of that smaller circle. Okay? But what we know is previously they asked, now what, look at this. This is N, this is M. And I will have a circle around there, and then I've got another circle here. Okay? We know the distance MN, that it is 5 units. Okay? Now, remember, for them to touch outside, so if I call this big R, and then this is small letter r, you must have your mn, it's equals to your big R plus your small letter, your small r. We know the distance. The distance mn is 5, and then the radius of that circle with center M is 3, plus it's easy to work out the radius of that other circle that touches with the circle with center M. So we can work out the radius. The radius here is 2. Now, another thing they've told us, that this circle has a center 3, 2, okay? 3, 2. So in other words, because it's got 3, 2, it's not naught, naught. So the equation that we're going to use, it's not x squared plus y squared equals to r squared. Remember, we've got 2 types of equations of the circle, with center at the origin and the off-centered one. Okay, so we are going to use x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to r squared. We know that this is a and that is b. Substitute, so you get x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals to r squared. All right? Now, luckily, we have worked out what r is, the radius of this circle. So it's easy. X minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals to 2 squared, which gives us 4. But guys, you don't stop here. Read your question very carefully. Find the equation of a new circle, write your answer in that particular form, which is x squared. So you must have the x squared and then the y squared, the coefficient of x and then the coefficient of y, and then a constant. Right, so now what you need to do is to expand here, multiply out. You've got x minus 3 squared. This gives us x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus, this is y squared minus 4y plus 4 equals to 4. And then 4 no 4 badlane. Then we left with x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 4y. Okay? And they want it in the form of x squared plus y squared. Okay, let's start with the x squared plus y squared. So you get x squared plus that y squared. So we've done that. Now we need to find the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is negative 6. So we've got negative 6x. Okay? Then we move on to y minus 4y. Then our constant, it's a plus 9 equals to 0. So it is in that form that they've asked us to do. Okay, so that's about that in that question. All right, now we look at the graph question, your trig graphs. It says in the diagram below, the graphs of f of x equals to tan bx and g of x equals to cos x minus 30. So you've got a tan one, so this is tan with that point, okay? Cos x minus 30 are drawn on the same system of x's. X is between minus 180 and 180. Now the point P91 lies on F. Now remember guys, just want to remind you of something in your trig tan graph. The normal graph of tan, remember it's got asymptotes 90 to 70, and then the minus 90, minus 180, minus 270, and then minus 360, and then here you've got a 360, then x, and then y. Just quickly, we know these are your asymptotes, okay? I'll get a different color. Your graph looks like this, okay? And so forth and so forth, okay? Right, now, my point here is, remember, right in that curve, you've got the coordinate 41. The mother function of your graph tan, it's got 45 and then 1, okay? So it's got 45 and 1. If you punch in your calculator tan of 45, it's 1, so your y value will be 1. Now in this case, they've given us 90 and 1. So it means there's something that has happened to the b. If it was tan of x, so 1x, we'll have a 45 and then 1. Okay? Now, if we have tan now of half x, then that will be your 90 and 1. And on. If you've got 1 over 3, then you times it by 45. So in other words, to answer the first question, the value of b, so our b is a half in that particular case. Okay. Now, they're asking us the next question. Write down the coordinates of A, the turning point of G. Now, let's go and look at that A. Your A, it's on G, all right? And this graph is given, it's cos x minus 30, all right? So you've got your G of x is cos x minus 30, all right? Now, if you look at this graph, y is cos x, right? The normal graph, okay, without any shifting and whatnot, your range here, your y is between minus 1 and 1, okay? So the highest point on your y is 1. The lowest will be your minus 1. And it's still the same here, so I've got a 1 in front. If it was a 2, then we'll have y should be between minus 2 and 2 and so forth, okay? So now I know that A will be, I know that there's 1 there. And to work out now the coordinate here, the x, so you're going to say x minus 30 equals to 0. So x, this, you get 30 and 1. Okay. Now, the next one, write down the equation of the asymptotes of y equals to tan b x plus 20 for x is between minus 180 and 180. All right? So now, we know that the period of tan is 180 degrees. Now, remember that. If it was sine or cos, that should be your 360. Now, we get our asymptotes by saying, so you've got your x plus 20 degrees equals to 180 degrees. Then you have x will be 180 minus 20 degrees, which gives us 160. Okay, so you've got x is 160 degrees there. Now, the next question, you find the range of h of x equals to 2 g of x plus 1. Okay, so h of x equals to 2 g of x plus 1. 2, the g of x, do we know the equation of g of x? Yes, we do. It's cos x minus 30. Cos x minus 30 degrees plus 1, right? So that's your h of x. Now, guys, if we just do this transformation on this graph, now I only need to see the y, so our range there. So if we draw a normal graph of cos, a normal graph of cos looks like this. There's a 1, and you've got a minus 1. So this is y equals to cos x. All right? Now, guys, now they've given us that amplitude now. So you've got a 2. So now our minimum and the maximum values of y changes. So now this is a new thing. You have now 2 and minus 2. Okay? Because at first I had y equals to 1 cos x. Now I've got y equals to 2 cos x. I'm just looking at that, the 2 there. Now the next one, okay, despite of the shifting on your x, but I'm now looking at the plus 1. So you're pulling the graph 1 unit up. So it was a 2 here, okay? So it was a 2, now 1 up, it's 3, and then 1 up here, it's minus 1. So it's still the same graph, but it looks like this now, okay? All right, so now it means that our y, the minimum one is minus 1, and the maximum is 3. So you can say y is an element of minus 1 to 3, or you'll say y is between minus 1 and 3. Okay. All right, I hope that helps. Any, what you call, with the scores and whatnot?
Yeah, the scores, we, me and you, like, are on par.
Okay.
Like 30-30.
All right.
So I'm pushing the mind teachers to break the tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll do that.
They'll do that. I have a question, though. Are you done with that question?
Let me see.
You can finish.
Yeah, I'm done with this question. There was a learner that asked about a question earlier on. Okay, come with that question.
This one, it's based on 2.3. Yes, that one.
Okay.
Brian says, where did you get the 3? Where does the 3 come from?
Oh, Brian. The 3, ne? Okay, let's talk to Brian through. We have the equation of a circle with center M, okay? Right? I hope, Brian, you're listening. The center M, which is minus 1 and minus 1, equals to 9. Now, let's just rewrite this. You've got your x plus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals to 9. In a standard form, this is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to r squared. Now, watch. You've got a r squared equals to 9. So therefore, the radius of this circle is 3. All right? So the radius of that circle. Now watch. A radius is a line from the center. Okay? Can you see that it's from the center and then it goes up to the circumference. So MB will be our radius. Even the MA will be our radius. So that will be 3 units. That's where we got that 3 from. Okay? That r squared, it's equals to 9. So solving for r, square rooting on both sides, you get r is plus or minus 3. But remember, the distance can never be negative. Then we get r equals to 3.
Sure.
Anything else?
And another question. Sbusiso says on the last question of analytical geometry.
Last
Last question.
of analytical geometry.
Where you were asked to find the values of A.
Yes.
He says, can I find it by finding the equation of two lines with gradient of 1 and minus 1?
Exactly. Because we had, remember when we were doing that question, there was an angle of inclination, which was 45 degrees, and the other one was 135. So if you have m equals to tan theta, so then you have m equals to tan 45, which gives us 1. So the gradient is 1. And then we've got m equals to tan 135. 135 is 180 minus 45, which is the second quadrant. Tan is negative, so you get negative tan of 45, which is minus 1. He is correct.
Right, nice one. Cool.
Yeah.
We can continue with the questions.
Okay. All right. Where were we? Okay, we're still in the maths. And we're done with the graphs. Now, guys, again, what I've been doing to you today, I give you the question, you chill at home, you do it quickly, and after the break, we do it together. Okay? Right? Just want to give you some time to practice, get it wrong, and then I come in as an older person to assist you. All right, so the next question is on your trig part. You're given that sine alpha is minus 4 divided by 5, and your alpha is between 90 and 270. Remember, they give you 2 restrictions there. I need you to tell me, you can say it on your Facebook, whatever, which quadrant are we going to have our sketch? That's the first thing, which is very important. We need to get the quadrant right. And then without using those machines, saying it like our president, find the value of each of the following in its simplest form, sine of minus alpha, and then your cos alpha, and then your sine of alpha minus 45. And then we move on to your question 4. Remember your identities. Now you need to prove that your left-hand side is the same as the right-hand side. I can see someone is raising his hand that I can't see the question. Can you all see the questions? Take them down now. I'm giving you a minute to take them down. So you need to prove that identity. That's the first one. And then the next one, you need to find for which value or values of x in the interval 0 to 180 degrees will the identity be undefined. Okay? Right? So that's the one. And hopefully we'll get to this one where we need to work out the general solution, and it is for 7 marks. And your cos 2 theta plus 4 sine 2 theta minus 5 sine theta minus 4 equals to 0. So you work those questions out for me, and I need to get some water. Thank you. Abram?
Awesome. Mindsetters, remember, if you don't see these questions, you can download your notes. They're all on learn.mindset.co.za. That is the shortest link ever, learn.mindset.co.za. They always say that if you're afraid, he who is afraid to ask questions is ashamed of learning. So guys, ask questions where you don't understand, because we're here to help you. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. We're here to help you guys. Chat with me on facebook.com/learnextra. I'll read some of your comments and your tweets, because I see some of you are also on Twitter. Talking about Twitter, let me just take this tweet. It's from Nemia Dozels saying, Mr. Sihle, the sketch is going to be on the 3rd quadrant. So thank you for that tweet. That's what Nema says. But otherwise, remember, mindsets, learning is one thing that never exhausts the mind. So with mindset, we're here to help you learn more and learn extra.
Okay, let's continue learning, guys. Thank you. Let's see if she is correct. She's saying third quadrant. Okay. Now let's just check. You're given that sine alpha is negative 4/5. Okay. Now, first thing, sine alpha is negative, all right? So sine is negative in 2 quadrants, right? Remember, first quadrant, sine is positive. Second quadrant, sine is positive. So in other words, sine will be negative in the third and fourth quadrant. So that's the first restriction, third and fourth quadrant. Number 2, you're given that alpha should be between 90 degrees and 270. So it will be from your 90 degrees to 270. Where's 90? 90 is here, 180, and then 270. So it can be in the second quadrant or the third quadrant. Now remember, where I have ticked twice, that's where I have my quadrant. And my child right there is correct. It is in the third quadrant. Okay, thank you very much. So our sketch will be in the third quadrant. Okay. Now we go back again. So you've got your alpha. It's in the third quadrant. We know that sine is y divided by r. Okay. So y in this case will be -4, and then r is 5. We don't know what x is. Okay. So we need to work out what x is. But now we have a sketch. We have a right-angled triangle. Okay. Now we can use Pythagoras there. And we know that with Pythagoras, x squared plus y squared equals to r squared. We don't know what x is, plus the y is -4 squared. Now guys, remember, I'm putting a bracket here. It's -4 squared. In other words, we've got a -4 times a -4. Because some of you just put a -4 and then squared. That becomes -16. But if you put a bracket, it means we have a -4 times a -4. Okay? Which gives us +16. Then this is 5 squared. So you've got x squared plus a 16 equals to 25. X squared is, now 25 minus 16, we get 9. Now, remember guys, when you get to this point, a lot of you are saying, therefore x is 3, without looking at the quadrant. Now, what you need to do is, remember when you get to x squared equals to 9, this is the same as saying x squared minus 9 equals to 0. Difference of 2 squares, x minus 3, x plus 3 equals to 0. Then you get your x is 3 or x is -3, and then decide on your x value depending on the quadrant. Okay? Or you can just say this is the square root plus or minus the square root, then x is plus or minus 3. Now you go back, we're in quadrant 3. How is x in quadrant 3? It is negative. So our x here will be a -3. All right. So now to answer the questions, 4.1.1, we need to find sine of minus, should be minus alpha. Okay. Now, remember, if you've got a plus, that is your first quadrant, a minus, you go in that direction, all right? So now minus theta falls onto the quadrant kabani ka cos, okay? So cos is positive, but the rest of the trig ratios are negative in the fourth quadrant. So in this case, I get a negative sign of alpha. But do I know sine alpha? It is the given one. They're saying sine alpha is -4/5. So now what you do is minus 4/5. Okay? So we have negative by negative. We get a plus 4 divided by 5. So the first part is answered. So sine of negative alpha, according to this information, it should give us 4 divided by 5. Now, we move on to the next question. So that's our 4.1.2. We're looking for cos alpha. Cos, we have a diagram there. We know that cos is x divided by r. So x is negative 3, r is 5. So that's nice and quick, minus 3 over 5. Okay. Now, 4.1.3. We now have sine of alpha minus 45. Sine of alpha minus 45. Now, there is this misconception. I don't know where it comes from. You'll tell me, learners, where you're getting this from or which book is it. Some of you are saying, okay, if I have x, bracket x minus 1, this is x squared minus x. Perfect. But not on the x. A lot of you, we can tell, we're watching this Facebooking and your Twittering and whatever. You are saying this is now sine alpha minus sine 45. And doing the distributive law, taking the sine as the x and what have you. Right? Now, I just want to remind you that you have to expand. Remember your compound angle identities. When you have the cos x minus y, it's cos x cos y plus sine x sine y, but you get that from formula sheet. But it's wise to get used to that before you go for your exam. Now, this, when you expand the sine of alpha minus 45, this gives us sine of alpha cos of 45 minus cos of alpha sine of 45. Okay? That's your expansion. Now, next, what you do is, because you know what sine alpha is, it's given there, minus 4 over 5. And cos alpha, it is also worked out by us that it's minus 3 over 5. What you can do is to just substitute. Okay, sine alpha is minus 4 divided by 5 times the cos alpha, the cos 45, that's a special angle. We get the square root of 2 divided by 2 minus the cos alpha. We know that it's minus 3 divided by 5. And then the sine 45 is the square root 2 divided by 2. Okay. Now we can simplify this. You have a minus 4 square root 2 all divided by 10. Now, guys, what I've done here is multiplying the numerator by numerator and the denominator by denominator. And then I've got a negative times a negative. I get a plus 3 square root 2 divided by 10. Put it under 1 LCD, which in this case is your 10. Then you get 10 minus 4 root 2 plus 3 root 2, which gives us a negative root 2 all over 10. So, answering that question, our simplified form will be minus the square root of 2 all divided by 10. Okay? Right, I hope that helps. And we move on to question 4.2. I asked you earlier that you do these questions at home. And if you look at this question, it's your identity. Remember, with identities, you take the complicated side, you work it out. At the end of the day, you make it the same as the simpler side. And in this case, your left-hand side is complicated. Now, let's look at your left-hand side. You have 8 sine 180 minus x. Can you just be with me here? Okay, come, guys. Let's follow. You have 180 degrees minus x. Which quadrant is 180 degrees minus? It is the second quadrant. Okay? How is the given ratio, which is sine in this case, in the second quadrant? It's positive. So now I'm taking the left-hand side. I get 8 sine of x times cos of x minus 360. Okay? Now remember, we said if you're starting with a variable than a degree, you can add 360. You're back on the same angle. So if I add the 360 here, I've got x minus 360 plus 360, then I get just x. So this is cos of x, all divided by sine squared x. Now, let's look at this one. You have 90 degrees plus x. 90 plus is the second quadrant. How is a given ratio in the second quadrant? It is positive. Now, watch the catch here. There is a 90. Remember when you've got a 90 and 270, sine changes to cos and cos changes to sine. So in this case, we get positive cos squared x. I hope you guys are still following, right? Now, bearing in mind that we need to get to negative 4 tan 2x. Now, I have the 8 sine x cos x. And the sine x cos x looks familiar. But what we've learned is, if I've got the 2 sine x cos x, that is the same as sine 2x. So I can break down that and say, okay, in order for me to have that 2 sine x cos x, then here, because I've done something to the 8, I will multiply by that 4. Okay? So it's still the same thing. Why am I doing this? This becomes a proper and nice identity. Okay? Now, looking down there in my denominator, I've got a sine squared x minus cos squared x. Now, if we have cos 2x equals to cos squared x minus sine squared x. Now, this is in the other way around, but you can fix this thing. The cos 2x is cos squared x minus sine squared x. Okay? All right. So, now if I want to get it to this part, I can rearrange. Okay? Now, I have minus cos squared x plus sine squared x. Are you happy? I haven't done anything to the question. No worries. But I can take out a common factor here. There's a minus cos squared x minus sine squared x. Now this gets back to the identity, the double angle identity of cos. So this would be your cos 2x, and then I have a minus there. So in other words, the sine squared x minus cos squared x will give us the negative cos 2x. So I've got the negative cos 2x. Now, next, this is 2 sine x cos x. So I have 4 divided by minus 1, I get a minus 4 sine 2x, because that is a double angle identity now. Okay? Now, next, my denominator is cos 2x. Now, guys, please remember your quotient identity. If I've got tan x, this is the same as sine x divided by cos x. If I've got tan 7x, this will be your sine 7x divided by cos 7x. Okay, now in this case, I've got sine 2x divided by cos 2x. All right? So, and that gives us tan of 2x. Okay, so you've got the tan 2x times the negative 4, which is the same as the right-hand side, and then you conclude by saying the identity is true. Therefore, your left-hand side is now the same as your right-hand side. Okay. Now, okay. Now, guys, so we've done that identity. Now we're moving on to your 4.3. You need to find the general solution. Now remember, with your general solution, you make sure that you have your sine, cos, or tan as your subject of a formula. So now, guys, because of time, can we just quickly do this question? This we have learned, okay? That we have learned. We can change that to your double angle identities. So this, you can change it to cos squared x minus sine squared x, or 2 cos squared x minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Whichever one, at the end of the day, it will give you the same thing. So if I change it to 1 minus 2 sine squared x, okay, plus, this is now 4 sine 2x. Now there's a mistake here, guys. Sorry, it's small and nothing. This is sine squared. So this is 4 sine squared x minus 5 sine x minus 4 equals to 0. Now, let's just check. I've got a minus 2 sine squared x plus a 4 sine squared x, which are your like terms. So I get the 2 sine squared x minus 5 sine x, and then a minus 3 equals to 0. All right. Now, guys, this is now a trinomial. Okay? You can now factorize this. And you get your 2 sine x, and then a 3 and a 1 minus and a plus. Then your sine x equals to minus a half, or sine x equals to a 3. Now remember, from here, you need to work out your key angle and whatnot. But the sine x equals to 3, this is not going to be valid because your sine x has to be between minus 1 and 1. Then you get your key angle here, which is 30 degrees, and you check which quadrant is that sine, negative, and from there you'll be fine. And you put your period, which is 360 at the end of the day. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening and watching. We'll hand over to you.
Quickly, there's a comment on Facebook before I let you go. Mandla Mbele says, I was really looking forward to trigonometry. I always find it very challenging. What is the best way to understand trigonometry?
Okay.
According to you, maybe your trick.
Okay, as just to learn all those notes that we've given you by head, not depending on the what you call on your formula sheet, and practice on daily basis.
Well said. Well, mindset is quick. One last thing. A plus B is equal to?
A plus B is equal to A plus B.
Oh, well, according to my own maths, A plus B is equal to C, which means your attitude plus behavior is equal to your character. We love you so much, and keep up the good and positive character. With mindset, you can do anything. It's possible. We're here to help you on this winter school revision. We love you, and peace.
So bonana, Eitzara.